more, right? Because I think at the end of the day, Web3 is here to stay. I'm 100% Web3 is here to stay. If not, I would cut my dick off, right? I think this is definitely here to stay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
GM.
Hello. Welcome to the show, everybody. If you don't know what this show is about, there's the ABCs that I'm going to say it over and over again. Is Asia-focused, builder-friendly, and cool vibes only, powered by Memeland, home of Captain's Potatoes, MVP, and Steakland. My name is Karen, and I'm your co-host. Hi, Casey.
Hey, how's it going, Karen? Maybe next time you should sing it. That way it's a little different. Sing it to different themes. That way you'll always have a new way to do it. Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm Casey. I'm co-host. I'm a Web3 community builder. And the main thing is Karen and I, we just love talking to founders and creators. And we're very excited to be able to bring them to you live through our show here in Hong Kong. Every week, Karen and I chat to the most exciting builders and founders, mostly based in Asia, but, from around the world who are building in the Web3 space.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have any ask, if you want to see whoever wants to be on the show or projects that you want to know more about, please let us know on X. And you can see our show now on X, YouTube, and Twitch, broadcasting live video. And you can also hear the audio-only version on X Spaces. Either way, you can send some love there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so many ways to enjoy the GM show, but I guess most importantly is a quick word from our sponsor.
Our chairman.
Sorry. Why do I always say sponsor? Yeah, the chairman.
What is discussed on the GM show is not investment advice. We may or may not have ownership interests in the projects we are talking about, but this is not investment advice in any way, shape, or form. And this is not Sir David Attenborough.
Okay, Casey, I think we see a trend recently where all these people coming up to the show are gaming companies now.
Gaming companies. I know there's a lot of gaming companies in Web3. It seems to be the one main vertical that can make money. And definitely the blockchain is really good for it. As we follow a lot, or at least I do. I see Yatsu from Animoca at almost every conference I go to. And I think everybody else does too, but he's always talking about digital assets and he keeps showing me these cool games that they're working on. So I feel like it's just a natural progression. And, a few weeks ago in Hong Kong at a conference, I moderated a panel on Web3 gaming and I had some really smart young guys from around Asia building some really amazing games, plus all the founders we've been interviewing here on GM shows. So it's very interesting to see. So this episode, we have a company called Everreach Labs. They've been creating top quality video games that offer unparalleled player engagement, employing cutting edge game mechanics combined with user-generated content and community-based initiatives designed by Phil O'Connor, who is the design director and former lead on Far Cry 3 at Ubisoft. So that's a very, very high AAA game.
Massive.
The game is called Revenge, but take out the E's and put in threes, because that's how we do Web3, right? It was a first-person shooter and player versus environment game set in the future, and it was built on Unreal Engine 5. The game was launched last year in 2023. It had 60,000 players, 200,000 game sessions played in all, and was one of the top 5 most played games on Ultra, GameSwift, and Elixir Games, and listed on Epic Games. So it was a big game. We'll have our guest talk a little bit more about it. But the game and the company was backed by Crypto.com, Amazon Web Services. They're investing in Web3 games. Let's ask him more about that. The Sandbox here, Immutable, recently granted $1 million. Okay, the team is previously from Warner Brothers, EA, PUBG, Ubisoft, Tencent, Nintendo, Gameloft, all the big gaming brands. They know what they're doing. Yeah, they're launching their Ever ecosystem-wide token soon. Okay, it's like the $sign and an EV and a 3 and then R. All right, Karen, who's our guest today?
Let's go. So he began his career as an analyst and broker, then a private equity analyst. In 2019, he went to real estate and asset management and as a investment analyst. In 2020,
sounds like a real video game guy.
Yeah, he was a member of the NFT Factory and chief business development officer Oxia Origin, where he led the incubation process by Ubisoft at Station F, integrated Atari, among other brands, into the game, and launched 2 NFT collections with $8.5 million and $5 million of royalty. In 2023, he was the head of partnerships at both Polyland and Revenge. So welcome to the GM Show, the co-founder and co-CEO of Everreach Labs, Nicolas Bougartchev. Hello, Nicholas.
Hello, thanks a lot for the introduction. Pleasure to be here with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. We have so many questions for you.
Yeah, first question is how does a private equity analyst and a real estate asset management analyst get into video games? That's our number one question.
In fact, I was a player of video games since I was young, but like during my study, nobody told me that I could earn some money by walking into this space. So like at the beginning, I decided to go after something more corporate, like finance, traditional finance. But in the end, because I was investor in the crypto space, I understood the narrative gaming, and I realized I could build my career here and join the space. In fact.
Okay. All right.
Great.
So what's your favorite game then? What's the game you love to play?
Definitely, I start playing games with Pokemon and Game Boys. That was my first games, in fact. But I really enjoyed the first PlayStation 2 titles like Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if you know about that.
Of course. Yes.
Square Enix and Disney. These kind of games, and after that, I have played World of Warcraft a lot, like from vanilla to the last extension.
Oh yeah, definitely need a gamer to be leading a gaming company for sure.
Can you also tell me, this is also another question. A lot of French people are game makers. Why is that? Is there a gaming school going on over there, or what kind of community is deploying it? Besides Ubisoft, as we know, very international company, but is there a reason, do you think?
No, I think Ubisoft is for something, because it's a huge company and we know about them like since we are young, because we have all played their titles, but no, not like, to be honest, there is also good like video games schools here, coding schools or stuff like that, like the one built by Xavier Niel from Free, the French businessman. But definitely, the ecosystem is helping, I think, French talents to jump into space.
Okay, great. Okay, let's get into the interview. We asked the same 20 questions to each week's guests to get some insight into their day-to-day life, what inspires them, and what lessons can they pass on to the next generation building in Web3. Karen, what's the first question?
Okay, let's go. What's the one app you have on your home screen that not many people do?
Definitely, I'm traveling a lot because of my job, in fact, and I have Duolingo. It's like an app that allow you to learn new languages. So that's what I have.
Yep, that's original. No one said that one yet. That's great.
What are you learning though?
Yeah, what language are you learning? Yeah.
Currently Italian.
Okay.
But it's not for the job. It's like for holidays.
Okay, great. Number 2, what is the book you've given as a gift the most, and why?
So I'm not offering a lot of books, to be honest. So I just like switch the question for like which book did I just bought, and the answer is the entrepreneurship to be free. It's been written by Eric Larchevêque, the founder of Ledger, and I don't know. I love the message because it's about like freedom and like following dreams, and like definitely it resonates.
Oh,
Awesome.
is that
Great.
is that in English? That's not like a new book?
It's in French, but I have done the translation of the title. In French, it's Entreprendre pour être libre.
Okay, great.
Great. We'll check it out. What's the something that has greatly influenced your life? Is it a game?
No, I think it's my friends and my family, to be honest. Because for example, when I was in the corporate finance, I was like hesitating to jump in the Web3 space, and like they were supportive me and they guide me, and also I think I had also the chance to meet mentors, people that I met into the space that helped me because they are experienced and known into their career, like Samir Agili, the current chairman at Tilting Point. But yes, it was first family and friends, I think.
All right, great. Next question. Besides your smartphone, what is the one gadget or product in your life that makes it better?
Definitely the noise cancelling headphones. While working, it's super useful to just keep focus and don't be like looking elsewhere.
Which brand do you use?
I use Apple. I'm stuck with Apple on all my devices, guys.
Yep. Good.
All right.
That's fine. We love Apple.
Yeah. What was an early job you had that you learned an important lesson from? Is it from your asset management days?
No, first experience that I can remember, and it was one of the most impactful, I think, because it was like hard work. I was a waiter in Paris on a terrace in front of la cathédrale Notre Dame, and yeah, because it's about multitasking, it's about patience, it's about like it's physique, and you have to be focused on customer service. So definitely it was like something like hard to manage for 1 month and a half, if I remember well. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Where are you right now? Are you in France right now?
Yeah, I'm in France, in Paris. What about you?
We're in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Yeah, in Hong Kong.
But what does a normal day look like for you there in Paris, building Web3 company?
I think it's always the same. I mean, like I wake up, I check my emails, I go on my meetings. I try to go and to have time for workout. Exercise, workout at lunch when I have the time, and then like repeat the afternoon, like meetings, mails, and yeah.
Okay, that's it. So just a normal day. Is there like what do you have like a special lunch time, or do you guys like in France? Don't you have like a special time in the middle of the day that you have like coffee and a croissant to relax at?
Yeah, no, we take breakfast like super early. While checking my mail, I'm having my breakfast, so like around 7 a.m. And at lunch I try to go for my sports, to do my sports, my workout at lunch. It's not like really French. It's super like kind of Spanish lifestyle. But I took that from the Spanish when I was there during my studies, because I enjoyed the rhythm, in fact.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Great. I actually have a question. Like, so apart from NFT Paris, which actually we were there in Paris, are there any other big events this year for Web3 in Paris?
For Web3, you have, I think, like you had like Paris Blockchain Week. In fact, it was a few weeks ago, just before Token 2049. So it was 1 month and a half ago. To be honest, that's the two main one. What we want to focus also with Everreach Labs is definitely the gaming conference, like the Paris Games Week. We want to go after the mass market, so definitely it makes more sense for us to go after gamers instead of just Web3 niche communities. So yes, that's the three main conferences we are doing in Paris, in fact.
Awesome. Cool. Next question is, what is an unusual habit that you have?
I'm collecting hats. So I like fashion and and I'm collecting hats every time I go in a new country, like for business or for holidays. I buy new hats, all sorts of hats.
Is it
Why
a
are you not
specific?
wearing a hat right now? You should be wearing right now and show off your hat collection.
Because to be honest, like it's part of the corporate world that I still have inside me. It's that I can't do anything I want, like all I want during my day of work. But yes, I could.
Got it.
All right. Next question is, what new belief, like this is a new belief, a behavior, or a habit that you picked up recently that's improved your life? A lot of people picked up a new thing during pandemic, but maybe you just picked up a new thing during Web3.
That's a good question. I walk a lot. I think for the last 3 years, I have increased my walk time. It's kind of meditative walk, just going after without anything, or like no music, no phone, just going out for like 45 minutes thinking about like stuff. Maybe it's because of the entrepreneurship, definitely.
Yep. No, it's good.
That's great. So I don't know if it's a walk or anything for this one, but when you feel overwhelmed, what do you do and how do you relax?
Same thing. So yeah, same answer. I go for a walk. I try to disconnect, not only disconnect like mentally, because I'm still thinking about like the issues or the challenges, but like in terms of technology, I try to disconnect and to just go out and to look around and yeah.
What's the longest time you've ever disconnected? Because I feel like it's hard to put away your phone for a day in this space, right? Like, I don't think I can do it.
Now, in the space, definitely it's complicated. When you are in holidays, it's also complicated. To be honest, there is no like you can't, just don't check your mails for more than 24 hours. It's not possible when you are a founder, I think. That's why the last time it happened, I was like in Malaysia for a trek in the jungle for 3 days. So it was like maybe the longest time ever. But it was because of the no network in the jungle. So that's why. But definitely, yeah, it helps.
You have to go to the jungle to disconnect. That's the only way to do it, or space, or underwater. Like the only places to go.
Exactly.
It's true though. I disconnect when I'm on an airplane because most likely you have no choice.
Well, now you can get Wi-Fi, but on the plane. But
Damn it, Karen, that's the whole point. I'm trying not to remember that. Now I'm thinking I gotta do that next time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question is, what is one failure you experienced and how did you overcome it? Could be any time in your life. Could be when you're young. Could be during your business.
So yeah, one experience was definitely when I was young. Like I wanted to enter the top business schools in France, and to do that you have to go after like specific studies. And I missed these specific studies because they were like super mathematic focused, centrics. And I was like much better at like economics and more concrete, more concrete stuff. In fact, and in the end, I have reached the same business school, but by taking another path, listening feedbacks from friends and teachers. And I took this other itinerary, and I reached the same point. So I mean, like it was both first a failure, but then like a success. And I think since that moment, I understood that we were much better by doing what we liked. in fact.
Yeah, we definitely need passion in this industry for sure. If you don't have a passion on the thing, you can like go through the first week. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's for sure. Okay, so here's an interesting one. So I don't know, you manage a lot of people's investments. What's the best investment you've ever made, and what were the returns?
It doesn't have to be money though.
Um,
It can be time and things like that.
Yeah, I think for Everreach Labs, the best investment was the time we spent to build the current team. In fact, the AAA team we have onboarded between September and December is definitely one of our main strengths at the moment. It allows us to go after like something really disruptive in terms of game loop, and definitely the returns, have been proven regarding this team and the time we spent. In fact, because it was almost a quarter of last year, we spent really focused on this hiring.
Okay.
So
Great.
how big is the team now?
So at the moment there is like 15 people in house, like core team, the kind of profile like Phil. Our CTO is the ex-head of innovation at Nintendo. Our CRO wrote the white paper at Immutable, but before that, he was also in charge of the monetization at World of Tanks and World of Warships. So it's two IPs that he pushed beyond 1 billion in revenue. But in total, it's more than 50 people, 45, 50 people working on the project at the moment. Between the devs, we have 21 devs working on the project at Magic Media. It's a gaming studio that worked on Call of Duty, on Shrapnel, etc. Plus the marketing team from Surgeons and all our partners working full time with us. It's a big team at the moment, in fact.
Yeah, it's a very strong team. So are they all based in Europe or other places around the world?
Everywhere, from San Diego in US to Sydney. We have some people in Ho Chi Minh. We have in Hanoi, in Singapore, but also in France, in Paris, in Miami. So like from US to Asia, in fact.
Wow, so around the clock
Yeah.
production.
You can't disconnect your phone. That's also the second part of the answer. You can't do it.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Cool.
Okay. Next question then is, who is someone you look up to, and what is your favorite quote from them?
Richard Branson. Screw it, let's do it. Because it's it sums up like really well the entrepreneurship mindset, I think. And he's he's the boss. So yeah, calling him.
Great.
Okay, so this one is a really interesting one because I think like we get to see like what other different founders' background and what they grew up with. Like, so what's the one conventional wisdom that you disagree with?
I think the most important is like failure is something is a bad thing. It's wrong. Definitely failure is it help like founder or on the professional but also like personal side to grow up. So I think that's the one conventional wisdom I disagree with, in fact.
Okay.
Great.
Next question is, what is one piece of advice you would give to a first-time founder wanting to enter into Web3?
Stay resilient, man, and good luck. No, to be honest, the stay resilient is like, it's a good advice, because when it's not because of your product, it's because of the timing, it's because of the market. You are not like, mastering everything. For example, last year, like we had the kind of financial challenge with the company because it was the bear market and we were like, struggling by raising funds. And like we spent like 6 months to raise funds, and in fact one day the market decided to come back, and like we are currently closing 5 million in less than 4 months, and last year it was like 6 months $0 of raise. So just keep, trusting in your process, improve it, pivots if needed, because it's what we did, in fact, a bit, and definitely it will pay off.
What is the one thing during that 5 million raise you think made the difference, besides like the market getting better?
The team we have built, the board we have onboarded. It's a mix of everything, in fact. The product also maybe has evolved during that same time. So as everything was happening at the same time, I don't really know, because the market went up, the team was hired, the board has been onboarded, and the product was defined with this new team. So I mean, like, everything came, at the same time. So I can't like isolate something and say, okay, I know it's because of that, but it's a mix of everything, all these different criterias.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep. So if you were, well, I guess like you receive a lot of advice from investors and also like maybe your team and co-founders or your community. What's the worst piece of advice you ever received?
I think it was from my father. It was like play it safe and stick to something familiar. No, but to be honest, it's one of the worst one. But in the end, like you learn from that wrong advice. So it has been helpful in the end, because you have to keep in mind that you can't go, in Web3 without any plan B or whatever. So it helps you to be a bit more like thinking about like the next steps, and like quite patient and rational. But like if you take just the sentence like this, it's the worst one.
But doesn't that kind of make you, especially coming from your dad, make you feel like I got to prove this guy wrong? Like I'm going to do something completely crazy that he doesn't understand, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think it was also the challenge behind that. Definitely.
Great. Okay. Next question is one of my favorite ones, because this kind of gives us an idea what kind of founder you are. Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, or Elon Musk, and why?
Elon Musk, because of the vision, like so audacious, like nothing can stop him, looks like, and he's really trying to push the boundaries of what is possible. So I think like Elon Musk for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll get to know your personality a little bit more. Okay, so we'll get into the Web3 stuff now. I think you mentioned a little bit like how you got into this job and gaming. What got you into Web3 in the first place? Is it crypto, or is it like straight into gaming?
It's crypto, in fact. I was in London at Colony Capital. It's a private equity firm. They are the former owner of the PhD, among other things. And one of my mentor there, like, I was intern at the time. It was like 10 years ago. And he told me, like, you should invest your first salary of the company into Ethereum. I was, what's that? And I put all my money from the months into it. And like I bought like Ether at like 120, stuff like that. Wow. And I sold it like when I did X2 for my summer to pay my holidays with my friends. Then like, go exit of the Ether at like 240, stuff like that. And at this moment, I just like realized the parallel economy that was in currently building, and I had like one step into this space, but as an investor. But I didn't like to be like focusing just on white paper and something no concrete DeFi. I don't like that. So it was just a first step. But after that, like how I get really into professionally into the Web3 was because of the gaming narrative. And yes, because I heard that Ubisoft tried the first thing in Web3, and like I was like, okay, if these giants of the gaming space are going in now, it should be of interest for me, and I joined the space at this time, 3 years ago now.
Wow. What happened to Ubisoft? They were going to get in and then they didn't go in. They were one of the first companies that get blasted by their users for trying to get into NFTs, right?
Yeah, in fact, it was because it was early, so they did not have like a lot of comps to just see how to do it. Definitely, it was not like done really well, but they are still here now, building like more slowly, but building cool stuff, doing nice IP integration with, for example, Sammy from Across the Ages, or this kind of nice project. So I think they have learned from their from their failures then, and now they want to build something cool in the Web3, and definitely. The first failure will be used for the next success. Pretty sure about that.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Good. Okay. Next question is, what was your first NFT? What did you learn from it? And do you still own it?
So that's fun because I met the founder of this project in Dubai a few weeks ago. It's Jiam, the founder. The project is Samurai Saga. I don't know if you know the gaming projects. It's a like gaming project that was released 3 years ago, like during the NFT bull run. And yeah, I still own them. I have 3 of them, so it was like a good moment I spent with the founder a few weeks ago. It's also one of the rare NFT I bought at this time that is still worth something.
Wow.
All the other one, because I thought I was discovering like new digital artists, pepites. I bought a lot of things that are worth 0 at the moment, but these one are still used and useful for the ecosystem. So yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so here comes the most important question of today. What are you working on right now? Why it? Why now? Why you? I think like a lot of people that are following Everreach, they will be very interested in what you guys are working on.
Yeah, for sure. So at Everreach Labs, we are building the first gaming studio that will connect spectators and players. In fact, Everreach Labs is the gaming studio. Everreach is our first game. It's a PvE FPS extraction game. It's just our first title. The goal is to go after a multitude of other games that are unified with the lore, but also connected with the gameplay. You will be able to reach Revenge from the open world of Everreach. But the difference is that we want to disrupt, in fact, the whole gaming space, because our game will be the first one that will allow the spectators from Twitch to impact the gameplay live. So it means like from our own API Twitch, the spectators will be able to, send resources, send locations, modify the environment, modify the weather, modify the UI of the players. So it's a Web 2.5 game. It's like a play to earn game. We have already our own page on Epic Game. So we are like a free to play game. That's the goal. No wallet, no token needed. The game loop itself takes place also on Twitch, which is a Web 2 platform. But we are adding Web3 components into it if you want to go after ownership, if you want to go after Web3 monetization, if you want to have the possibility to buy cosmetics, skins, weapons on the marketplace, but also to interact as a spectator. You will need, for example, a specific airstrike, special features that you want to activate during the game. You will use the token.
Got it.
And then-
So yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Karen.
No, there you go. You go.
No, I just want to find out, when are you going to launch the token? That's probably your same question.
So at the moment, Q2 is definitely a Web3 roadmap. At the moment, we launched the marketing 1 month ago, 1 month and a half ago. It was a huge success. And we want to target mid-July to launch the token. In fact, market at the moment is not really good. And we think the macro echo will be better during that time. And it allows us to have more time, in fact, to deliver our NFT collection and our dashboard, and to go after more growth than what we have known during these first months. Because in fact, We are currently reaching 200K followers on the socials and a lot of engagement. And I really believe that we can increase that a lot with this NFT collection and that dashboard.
Yeah. So sorry. So let's go back to the token for a bit, and we'll talk about the NFTs. So how is the token gonna tie into the whole ecosystem with the games?
Yeah. So as I explained, the token is like it's not the gameplay currency. It's not the token that you will earn while playing the game. During the games, you will have pixels. It's a gameplay currency. It will be generated by the players, the raiders, the one that are playing in the game. There is, by the way, 4 raiders, so 4 players playing at the same time this game, and 4 spectators into the game, and an infinite possibility of spectators on Twitch. So it's 8 people maximum in the game and an infinite possibility of spectators on Twitch. The token is like super delimited from the gaming experience. We are not like trying to go after something not sustainable. We are going after like a free-to-play game. It means that no token inside the games will be earned. Nevertheless, you will be able to convert your wins and your experience outside of games into token to buy cosmetics, weapons, powers, at discount prices, because you will also be able to buy them with your credit card. But in fact, if you buy them with our currency, the Ever token, it will be less expensive. Also, as a spectator, when you will be able, like while interacting with the players as a spectator, you will sometimes have access to special features. I don't know, like an airstrike that will last for, I don't know, the 10 next seconds, or this kind of stuff, or selling a lot of health to someone that is currently dying or stuff like that. And these special activations will be used by using the token. So you will pay with the token in a seamless way. You will think you will use your credit card, but in fact you will buy some token and it will be converted into the action. And the second thing is that we are incentivizing people to stack these special features because it will improve the gaming experience. So in fact, it will be first to do it, first served, and then it will be boosting the XP generation of the spectators or the players while doing it. So in fact, we are linking the token to 2 things, mainly. 1, the volume of spectators, and 2, the cosmetics you will be able to buy on our marketplace.
Awesome. So let's go into the upcoming NFT collection, the Founders Pass. So what is the supply and utilities benefits for the holders?
Yeah, for sure. So it's a 800 collection. It's a 800 collection. It's an ecosystem pass. I think it's definitely it will be the most valuable asset of our ecosystem, because as I explained, we are building an ecosystem here, not just one game. It will be useful in all our upcoming games, for private tests, for specific skins like exclusive skins. It will give you also the access to airdrop of the token for a lot of months, in fact. So the buyers or holders will easily make the calculation of what it's worth having this NFT into their collection. I think that's the main utility. Currently, we are closing the seed round, but I'm trying to create also an allocation for these holders so that they could invest into the seed round. So I mean, there is a lot of allocation of utilities with this NFT pass. In game, the goal is also to give them a kind of access to private areas. So for Revenge, it won't be possible, but for Everreach, the open world game that we will be releasing end of next year, you can imagine that these holders have access to some hubs of our partners, but also our hubs into the game, only within the community of holders. That's the goal here.
So I think a lot of people are thinking, how do you get the whitelist? And I know there's a dashboard. So how does it work? And I know there are some tasks that you need to do. So maybe you can introduce us a little bit more.
Yeah, so the dashboard will be released in like few weeks, by the end of the month. In fact, so you know better than us, I think, how dashboard works at the moment. A lot of hype since Portal and recently other project that did the same. In fact, you will be able to connect your accounts. You will have to complete quests. We will split this into 2 seasons. That's the goal. It will be narrative driven. The goal is not just to ask people to do a quest without any narrative logic behind that. We are building a strong IP here. The guy in charge of the IP at Everreach Labs, Chase, was a director of narrative at New York for Gameloft. He worked for Marvel, Disney, this kind of big IP. So we are building something really strong in terms of narrative and storytelling here. And we want to make the community involved into it and engage through the lore. So that's what we also will do through this dashboard. They will be able to level up, to earn rewards. In fact, they are preparing the ground for the airdrop campaign. So the more they will level up, the more they will earn. For some partners and like really few communities, we have a multiplier. We will giving them a multiplier of experience, so that we are putting them on the on the kind of highlights within our ecosystem. And definitely the goal is to go after something unique. So I will just tease about that. But we are currently finalizing with our own unique strategy, because all of what I just said before has been done already. It's not the goal. The goal is to go after something unique. And you will see a unique concept on our dashboard to increase retention, but also engagement of the community within it. The goal is not to go after something more spamming the socials like tickers or stuff like that, but really to increase the engagement within the dashboard with the community. So that's something we are building at the moment, and we will be releasing it soon.
That's interesting because, yeah, like I think we're very familiar with doing tasks and quests and stuff like that too.
Very familiar.
Yeah. So, that's an interesting take. So instead of like pasting stuff, so I think this is a great way to explore on like increasing engagement. So going back to your first game, Revenge, what did you guys learn from it, like from the prototype, and what is happening now and going on like for the roadmap?
So what we learned, in fact, was the game was cool. It was built on Unreal 5. It was a single player zombie game, but the game loop was not disruptive at all. Nevertheless, we were in the top 5 on each Web3 platform for months, with 80K marketing budget. So super low. So to several things I learned. First, there is a lot of space for good game into this Web3 space, because to be honest, I don't think we deserved that Web3, that top 5 on all Web3 platforms for months last year. Definitely with the game we are going after at the moment, I expect something really serious, because it's not at all the same resources or the same team or the same experience behind it. So that's the first thing. I think at the moment Web3 gaming is like increasing, growing. I may be winning in experience also, but definitely there is a lot of place. The second thing is the power of marketing and of Web3 marketing, because in fact the success of this game has been is due to the release of NFT collection, a loot box collection we released last year. We did also the launch during NFT NYC and the GDC San Francisco, so two conferences, one Web2, one Web3. And because of this successful launch, NFT mints, Crypto.com activation, and conferences, we locked this slot for months, because in fact we did not pay any influencer or KOL for that, because as we were in the top 5, people saw us and played because we were like on their radar. Like we were in the first spots of each platform. So the power of the marketing and of a successful release is something that I also have in mind. That's why we are super focused on doing something like perfect at the moment.
Okay, great. I think Casey also has a question before about like the investors that are, I mean, it's all stars investors. So was it like to work with crypto.com and Amazon, and what were the challenges like talking to these guys?
So there is several things with them. It's not like an investment partnership forex, the one you just mentioned. With crypto.com, we did a NFT collection, like co-branded weapon last year. It was super successful, and we are currently filling the process to be listed on crypto.com. So that's also one of our goals. We are a US-based company. Crypto.com is US-based. It makes sense for us to go after crypto.com for a good partnership, potentially also something that could last until an integration into the game. That's something we have in mind. But it's not an investment from their side. AWS, same thing. It's about grants for the release of the game and the server costs. But like in terms of backers, at the moment it's mostly VCs, syndicates of KOLs, DAOs, guild. So I can name a few, but like X21, Insidious Capital, Castroom, the Turkish fund, Mario Nofal with IBC Group, all our board members, Doug DAO, Good Games Guilds. All these guys are investors into the project at the moment. So it's really a mix about like VCs, business angels, guilds, DAOs, VC funds, or syndicates of KOLs.
Awesome. Wow. Okay. So yeah, let's get into the last question, Casey.
Oh, I wanted to bring this up. I thought this was quite amazing. There, a lot of people are saying like, Web3 games are not as good as Web2 games. This looks pretty cool. This looks pretty amazing. Is this a character from the game, or is this like your mascot, or what is this?
Yeah, it's character from the game. In fact, we have decided to go after the PvE space because the PvP space was too overcrowded. So we think also because of the game loop, player versus environment is less toxic and is better for us. And for the art, we have decided to do the same thing. I mean, like to avoid the realistic segment where there is too much people, there is too many games built on the realistic art. So our art director decided to go after like we call something we call that Disney art. And at the moment, it's like super in the highlight because of the recent partnership between Epic and Disney, in fact. So yeah, that will be the kind of vibe you will see in our game, in fact.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Casey already lined up for the game, right?
I'm lining up for the game because of that girl. Looks pretty amazing. Okay. Last question. So you're building, and we all know the problems of normal people thinking about Web3, but what is the one misconception about Web3 gaming that you'd want to change? When people look at, like you said, you went to GDC. I don't know what the vibe is, but last year the vibe is get out of here. We don't want these blockchain games, right? This year, maybe I think it's starting to lighten up because of the challenges in the industry. People are looking at other alternative ways to do things. But what do you see as one misconception that needs to be changed?
I think like the issue with the current Web3 gaming was to put the token as like the main product of your project. I think a lot of Web3 gaming projects are currently not like they are posing like some issues to the traditional gaming space because like the game is not the main focus for the founders or for the team. They are much more focused on on social farming and like increasing the value of their token within their ecosystem instead of like building an IP and building a game on which like the gamers will be because it's entertaining and not because they can win money on it. I mean, like I spent and all the gamers, like all of us, we have spent a lot of time like playing games on which we have like zero income at the moment. Like, I don't know, I played like maybe World of Warcraft for 6 or 7 months in terms of slash played non-stop. And I have like never sold my account because I can't do it. I have no monetization from that. And it was not the goal, in fact. And I think it's the same thing for the Web3 games. It should not be the incentive. Like, the goal should be the game loop. It should be the storytelling. And on the side, the token could be like a tool. And we had like a great discussion with Xai, the blockchain, recently, because like they are not talking about their blockchain. In fact, they are talking about like the go-to-market strategy for the game, and like how players will play our game if we go on their blockchain. So I mean, it's like super aligned. The vision should just move from the token to the product, which is the game, and have this Web3 as just a tool should be enough to build like a good ecosystem and like merge Web2 and Web3 together. Because if we don't do that, like Web2 users will never come here, in fact.
Yeah. Great.
All right.
Excellent.
So thank you so much for joining us today. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to follow us on GM Show Official, and please follow our guest today as well. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.